In the far dark side of the galaxy, there was a place no ship dared to enter. Stars there looked dim. Planets stayed silent. Even space felt afraid. Everyone in the galaxy knew one name. Queen Nixera, the alien vampire queen. When she was angry, planets burned. When she spoke, empires listened. When she looked at someone, hope died inside their heart. Many said she was not born a queen. She became one through fear. People whispered stories about her face. They said it was cursed. They said one look could break the mind. They said her eyes showed endless hunger. Because of this, Queen Nixera always wore a royal mask. Black and silver. Cold and perfect. No one had seen her real face for hundreds of years. Even her own court feared her. The palace of the queen floated in space like a dark moon. Long halls. Red lights. Silent guards with glowing eyes. Inside her private chamber, Queen Nixera stood alone. She looked at a mirror, then turned away. She hated mirrors. Her long claws trembled slightly. Not from anger. From fear. She whispered to herself. Too scary, too ugly, too cursed. She moved away from the light. Light made her feel weak. Light reminded her of her face. She was the most feared being in the galaxy. Yet inside, she felt alone. Suddenly, alarms echoed through the palace. A deep voice announced. Unknown ship detected. Human origin. The court gasped. A human ship. Here. This was forbidden space. No one entered and survived. Queen Nixera slowly sat on her throne. Her red eyes glowed behind the mask. Bring them to me, she said calmly. The human ship was small. Old. Damaged. Guards surrounded it easily. Inside the ship was one human. His name was Ethan. He was the captain. No powerful armor. No advanced weapons. Just a simple human. When guards dragged him into the throne room, everyone expected fear. But Ethan did not scream. He did not beg. He did not kneel. He looked around with calm eyes. The court whispered. Is he crazy? Does he not know who she is? He will die. Queen Nixera stood up. Her presence alone made soldiers shake. She walked toward the human. Her voice was cold. Human, why are you here? Ethan looked at her. Not at the guards. Not at the weapons. At her. At the queen. And then, he smiled. The court froze. No one had ever smiled at her. Queen Nixera felt something strange in her chest. Anger? Confusion? She raised her hand. Do you know who I am? She asked. Ethan nodded. Yes. You are Queen Nixera. And yet you smile, she asked. Yes, Ethan said softly. The court expected lightning. Blood. Death. Instead, the queen paused. Her red eyes studied him. Take him to the lower chamber, she ordered. I will decide his death later. The guards took Ethan away. The court relaxed. One noble said. He will be drained by morning. Another laughed. No human survives her hunger. But Queen Nixera did not laugh. That night, she walked alone again. She stopped in front of the mirror. Her claws touched the mask. She remembered the smile. Why did he smile? Did he not fear her face? She hated her face. She believed it was a nightmare. The next day, Ethan was brought back. Chains around his hands. But his eyes were calm. Queen Nixera stood before him. Slowly, carefully, she lifted her mask just a little. Only a part of her face was visible. The court turned away. Some closed their eyes. Some felt fear crawl into their bones. Queen Nixera spoke in a low voice. "My face is a nightmare, look away." Ethan did not move. He did not scream. He did not turn his eyes. He looked at her. Directly. Silently. And the queen felt her heart stop. The throne room was silent. Too silent. Queen Nixera's hand was still holding her mask, lifted just enough to show part of her face. Dark skin. Sharp vampire beauty. Eyes glowing like red stars. Everyone expected the human to scream. But Ethan did not move. He did not look away. He did not beg. He only looked at her, calmly. The queen felt something strange. Her chest felt tight. Her heart beat faster. "Why are you still looking?" she asked slowly. Her voice was sharp, dangerous. Ethan swallowed, but his eyes stayed steady. "Because you asked me not to run," he said. "And I am not afraid." The court gasped. One guard stepped forward. "Your Majesty, this human is mocking you." Queen Nixera raised her hand. Silence returned. She stepped closer to Ethan. Very close. So close that he could feel cold air around her. "You should fear me," she said. "Everyone does." Ethan shook his head slowly. "I fear many things," he replied. "But not you." That answer hit her harder than any weapon. For a moment, the queen forgot the court. Forgot the guards. Forgot the galaxy. All she saw was a human. Standing without fear. She pulled her mask down again. "Take him to the inner cells," she ordered. "No one touches him." The court was shocked. Inner cells were not for prisoners. They were for guests, or experiments. Ethan was taken away. As he walked, whispers followed him. He should be dead. She spared him. What is she planning? Inside her private chamber, Queen Nixera stood alone again. Her claws pressed into the wall. "Why did he not fear me?" she whispered. She remembered her past. Long ago, before the throne. Before the blood. Before the mask. She was younger. She removed her mask once. In front of her people. They screamed. They called her ugly. They called her monster. That day, something inside her died. She chose fear over love. Darkness over hope. Now, a human looked at her without fear. It made her angry. And curious. Meanwhile, Ethan sat inside the inner cell. The room was dark, but clean. No chains. No pain. He knew he should be scared. But somehow, he was not. "She is lonely," he whispered to himself. Hours passed. Then the door opened. Queen Nixera entered alone. No guards. No weapons. She stood in the shadows. "Human," she said. "Why did you smile at me?" Ethan stood up slowly. "Because I saw pain," he answered. "Not a monster." Her eyes narrowed. "You lie," she said. "Everyone lies to survive." Ethan shook his head. "If I wanted to survive," he said softly, "I would have begged." The queen stepped closer. Her voice dropped to a whisper. "My face is cursed." Ethan replied without thinking. "No, it is different." "Different?" she asked sharply. "Yes," he said. "It is strong. It tells a story." Her claws trembled. No one had ever spoken like this to her. "Humans are weak," she said coldly. "We die easily." Ethan nodded. "Yes. But we still stand." That sentence stayed in the air. Suddenly, alarms screamed again. Red lights flashed. A guard's voice echoed. Enemy fleet detected. Assassin guild ships. The queen's eyes burned with rage. They came for me, she growled. She turned to leave, then stopped. She looked back at Ethan. If I die, she said. You will die with this palace. Ethan met her eyes. Then let me stand with you, he said. The queen laughed. A dark, sharp laugh. A human standing with the vampire queen. The galaxy would break. Outside, explosions shook the palace. Enemy ships attacked without mercy. The court panicked. Queen Nyxera walked toward the battlefield. But for the first time, she hesitated. She looked at the human once more. Why did this human matter? She did not know. She only knew one thing. This human was changing something inside her. She turned away and whispered. Do not die before I return. The doors closed. Ethan stood alone. The palace shook. The fate of the queen and the human was about to change the galaxy. Explosions echoed through the dark halls. Red lights flashed like bleeding stars. Outside, enemy ships filled the space around the palace. Black metal. Sharp designs. The symbol of the Void Assassin Guild. They were paid killers. They never failed. Queen Nyxera stood on the command platform. Her long cloak moved like living shadow. Her eyes burned brighter than before. They think I am alone, she said coldly. They forget who rules the dark galaxy. She raised her hand. Energy formed around her claws. Enemy ships exploded one by one. But there were too many. Back inside the palace, Ethan felt the walls tremble. He grabbed the edge of the table to stay steady. He was just a human. No powers. No army. Yet his heart raced. She went to fight alone, he thought. He looked at the door. He could run. But he did not. Meanwhile, Queen Nyxera moved through the battlefield like a storm. She tore ships apart. She drained life from enemy soldiers who boarded the palace. Blood-red energy flowed into her. Normally, this made her stronger. But today, it felt heavy. Her mind was not clear. She kept seeing one thing. A human smile. Focus, she whispered to herself. Suddenly, a sharp pain hit her side. A plasma spear struck her armor. She staggered. The assassins had a new weapon. One that could hurt even her. Back in the inner chamber, alarms changed tone. Critical damage detected. Ethan understood one thing. The queen was in danger. He rushed to the door and pressed his hands on the energy lock. Open, he shouted. No answer. He hit it again. Nothing. Then a voice spoke behind him. Human, step back. It was an old vampire guard. He looked tired. His armor cracked. She ordered no one to follow her, the guard said. Ethan turned. If she dies, Ethan said. This place will fall. The guard hesitated. Ethan continued. She is strong, but she is alone. That word hit hard. Alone. The guard slowly deactivated the door. Follow me, he said. They ran through dark halls. Meanwhile, Queen Nyxera fell to one knee. The assassins surrounded her. Their leader stepped forward. Your fear ends today, Queen, he said. She laughed weakly. I am fear, she replied. But her energy was fading. Just then, blaster fire filled the hall. The assassins turned. A small human weapon. Ethan stepped into the battlefield. Everyone froze. Move away from her, Ethan shouted. The assassins laughed. A human? This is funny. Queen Nixera looked up. Her eyes widened. You came, she whispered. Ethan stood in front of her. His hands were shaking. But he did not move. I said I would stand, he said. The assassins attacked. The guard and Ethan fought together. Ethan was fast. Smart. Human stubborn. He took hits. He fell. He stood again. Seeing this, something inside the queen broke. A memory returned. Long ago. She was young. Her people stood before her. She removed her mask. They screamed. They ran. Her mother turned away. Hide your face, they said. You shame us. Tears fell. That day, she learned fear. Back in the present, Queen Nixera screamed. Not in rage. In pain. In truth. Dark energy exploded outward. The assassins were thrown back. She stood up slowly. Blood ran from her wound. But her eyes were clear. She looked at Ethan. You are foolish, she said softly. Ethan smiled through pain. Yes, he said. But humans are good at that. She turned to the assassins. Her voice changed. You wanted my death, she said. You gave me strength instead. She drained their life in seconds. Silence returned. The palace stood damaged, but alive. Queen Nixera turned to Ethan. He collapsed. She caught him before he hit the floor. Her claws touched his face carefully. You stood with a monster, she whispered. Ethan's eyes opened slightly. No, he said weakly. I stood with a queen. Her heart shook. For the first time in centuries. Queen Nixera felt seen. But outside the palace. More enemy signals appeared. This war was not over. Too quiet. Broken walls floated in space. Smoke moved slowly through the halls. Queen Nixera carried Ethan in her arms. She had never carried anyone like this before. Her steps were careful. Gentle. The guards watched in silence. Some were confused. Some were afraid. Some felt something new. Hope. She placed Ethan on a medical platform. Machines scanned his body. The screen showed damage. Human body. Too fragile. The queen stood beside him. Her claws were stained with blood. Not his. She whispered. Do not die, human. Moments later, alarms screamed again. Not attack alarms. Long-range detection. A voice echoed through the command hall. Multiple fleets detected. Galactic Union forces approaching. The court panicked. They are coming to finish us. They will destroy everything. Queen Nixera straightened. Her eyes burned. No, she said. They are coming because they fear change. A screen activated. Galactic Union ships filled space. Hundreds of them. More than before. Their message played. Queen Nixera, the voice said. Hand over the human. You are declared a threat to galactic order. The queen laughed softly. They want him, she said. Not me. A noble stepped forward. Your Majesty, we cannot fight them all. She turned slowly. I ruled with fear, she said. And fear made me alone. She looked at Ethan's unconscious body. But this human stood for me. She removed her mask. Fully. The court froze. Her face was visible. Sharp. Dark. Different. Not ugly. Not cursed. Strong. Some guards fell to their knees. Not in fear. In respect. I will not hide, she said. Not anymore. Outside, Union ships moved closer. Weapons charged. Suddenly, a new signal appeared. Small ships. Human ships. Old designs. Simple engines. A human voice echoed across space. "This is Human Fleet Echo." The Union paused. The Queen's eyes widened. The message continued. "We detected a human citizen in danger." The screen showed dozens of human ships. Then hundreds. Then thousands. Ethan's people. Queen Nixera whispered. He called them, even while dying. The human commander spoke again. "Galactic Union," he said. "Humans do not abandon their own." Union leaders argued. "This is madness. They are weak." The human commander replied calmly. "Yes. But we stand." The battle began. Union ships fired first. Human ships moved forward. They were destroyed easily. But they kept coming. Again. And again. Queen Nixera watched in silence. Her heart shook. Humans were dying. Yet they did not retreat. She raised her hand. "All forces," she commanded. "Defend the humans." Her vampire fleet joined the battle. Dark ships and human ships fought side by side. The galaxy watched in shock. A monster queen protecting humans. A weak race standing against giants. Inside the palace, Ethan woke up. He felt pain. But also warmth. He saw her face. Fully. "No mask," he whispered. Queen Nixera turned. "You should not see this," she said. Ethan smiled weakly. "I should," he replied. She helped him sit. "You brought them," she said. Ethan nodded. "They will die for you," she said. "They choose to," Ethan answered. That word stayed with her. Choose. Outside, the battle reached its peak. Human ships exploded. Union ships fell. Vampire warriors screamed in rage. Then silence. Union fleet retreated. They lost too much. The message ended. The galaxy changed that day. Queen Nixera stood with Ethan beside her. Her face uncovered. Her throne behind her. For the first time. She did not feel like a monster. But far away. In the dark edge of space. Something older watched. Something stronger. And it smiled. The palace slowly returned to life. Broken halls were repaired. Fallen soldiers were honored. The dark galaxy was quiet again. Queen Nixera stood on the highest balcony. Her mask was still gone. Cold space wind touched her face. She did not hide. Below her, vampire warriors trained. Human ships floated near the palace. Two worlds, side by side. Behind her, Ethan walked slowly. He was still weak. But alive. "You should be resting," she said without turning. Ethan smiled. "You saved me. I will survive." She nodded. Silence returned. A heavy silence. Then a message arrived. Human signal. High priority. Ethan's expression changed as he listened. Queen Nixera watched him carefully. When the message ended, he did not speak. "What is it?" she asked. Ethan looked down. "The Human Council," he said. "They want me back." Her heart tightened. "They say, humans should not stay in dark space." She turned to him. "And what do you want?" she asked quietly. Ethan did not answer. That silence hurt more than words. Later that night, Queen Nixera stood alone again. But this time, she did not avoid the mirror. She looked at her reflection. Sharp face. Red eyes. Scars of battle. She whispered. If he leaves, he will never return. Fear returned. Not fear of death. Fear of being unwanted. In the human fleet, commanders argued. This alliance is dangerous, one said. She is a monster. Another replied. She saved thousands of humans. The council made a decision. Ethan was summoned. In the throne room, the queen sat silent. The court waited. Ethan stood before her. I must go, he said softly. The words fell like a blade. The queen did not move. You promised to stand, she said. I did, Ethan replied. But my people need me. She closed her eyes. For centuries, she ruled without tears. Now, she felt them burning. If you leave, she said. The galaxy will say it was a mistake. They already say that, Ethan replied. She stood up. Her voice was calm, too calm. Then go, she said. I will not stop you. The court gasped. Ethan stepped closer. I do not fear you, he said. I fear leaving you alone. She looked away. Do not pity me, she said. Ethan whispered. I choose you, but I must protect my world too. That word again. Choose. He turned and walked away. Queen Nixera did not follow. Days passed. Human ships prepared to leave. The palace felt empty. The queen returned to old habits. Dark halls. Silence. Distance. The mask rested on the throne. She almost put it back on. Almost. On the final day, Ethan stood on his ship. He looked at the palace one last time. She will forget me, he thought. Suddenly, a new signal interrupted everything. Emergency. Unknown fleet. Not Union. Not assassins. Something ancient. The dark presence from before. The palace alarms screamed. Queen Nixera felt it instantly. Her body shook. This power, she whispered. It is older than fear. The sky tore open. A massive shadow appeared. A voice echoed across space. Queen of Blood, your time ends. Ethan heard it too. He turned his ship around. He whispered one sentence. I am not leaving. Space went silent. Too silent. The massive shadow blocked the stars. It was not a ship. It was a living structure of darkness. Older than empires. Older than fear. The ancient being spoke again, its voice heavy like death. I am Vorkal, devourer of queens. The vampire court trembled. Even the bravest warriors felt weak. Queen Nixera stood at the front. Her face was uncovered. Her eyes burned. You hide in darkness, she said. But I rule it. Vorkal laughed. You rule fear, it replied. I rule endings. The creature moved closer. Its presence drained energy from everything. Ships shut down. Weapons failed. Hope faded. Queen Nixera felt her strength slipping. For the first time in centuries. She felt fear again. Behind her, human ships turned back. Ethan's ship pushed forward. Human commanders shouted. Captain! That thing will kill you. Ethan answered calmly. Then I will stand closer. His ship flew between the queen and the monster. The galaxy watched. A human ship. Standing before an ancient god. Vorkal paused. A weak species, it said. Why do you stand? Ethan's voice echoed across space. Because she is not alone. Queen Nixera turned. Ethan, leave, she shouted. You will die. He looked at her face. Fully. Open. Strong. No, he said. I chose you. That word shattered something inside her. Chose. Not fear. Not duty. Her. Vorkal attacked. Dark energy rushed forward. Human ships were destroyed instantly. But they did not retreat. More came. Again. 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 Humans burned, but stood. Queen Nyxera screamed. Not in rage. In pain. You will not take them, she cried. She stepped forward. Removed the last shadow from her heart. Her power changed. It was no longer fear. It was will. Love. Choice. Her body glowed with red and white light. Vorkal recoiled. This power, it said. It should not exist. Ethan's voice came through the channel. Humans are weak, he said. But we choose who we stand with. Queen Nyxera raised her hand. All vampire ships answered. All human ships answered. 2 worlds. 1 will. They attacked together. Vorkal screamed as light tore through darkness. For the first time in eternity, the ancient god felt fear. Queen Nyxera flew forward alone. She faced Vorkal directly. This galaxy does not belong to fear, she said. It belongs to those who choose. She struck. The dark god shattered. Its shadow screamed, then vanished. Silence returned. Stars came back. Light returned. The war was over. Queen Nyxera collapsed. Ethan ran to her. He held her carefully. You stayed, she whispered. I will always stay, he replied. She looked at him. Tears fell freely. I thought my face would make you leave. Ethan smiled. In a galaxy of perfect faces, he said. Yours is the most beautiful. The vampire court knelt. Human fleets saluted. The galaxy changed that day. Queen Nyxera ruled without a mask. Humans were no longer weak. They were remembered. And in the dark galaxy, a queen and a human became legend.